You are watching On Demand. Please do not try to vote or enter any competition or other interactivity in this programme, as it may not count and you may still be charged.
Hello and welcome to your midweek Loose Women. Joining me for the next hour, it's Frankie Bridge, Carol McGiffin and Brenda Edwards. Coming up, from Strictly to skating, Dancing on Ice's latest star Brendan Cole tells us why he's worried about falling out with his professional partner. Also, we've got our reaction to Adele's big comeback, as her new album is rumoured to be all about her marriage breakup. We'll be revealing the relationships that's changed our lives. Also...
Oh, my favourite noise.
How do you react when you're confronted with a crying kid at a restaurant?
Oh.
We'll be having a big, loose ding-dong about that at 1:15. Now, we've got some very good news to start the show this morning, or this afternoon, I should say. Stacy has given birth to her little girl. It's wonderful news. Stacey, the biggest of congratulations. Everything has gone according to plan. There have been a few pics
a little baby
online already. How gorgeous and adored will that little thing be in amongst her big brothers?
Yeah.
And of course, Daddy Joe.
Seems to have been pregnant forever. She's always seen, every time I've seen her, she's been pregnant in the last 5...
This is her fourth, to be fair. She's been busy.
I know. Oh, look at Stace there. Look, she don't look very happy, does she?
I was going to say she must be really happy now not to be the only woman in that household of men.
No.
Yes, that's
it's
nice.
Wonderful news. And we know that you're at home, you're watching us right now as well, Stacey, so we're sending you all of our love. We cannot wait to see you all. We don't know the name yet.
No. Shall we guess?
Go on, then.
I think Daisy.
Daisy's lovely.
Daisy, yeah. I don't know why I think that. I just went like this and went, Daisy.
You're channeling your inner
You actually
Stacey.
looked to me and went, Daisy! And I was like, what?
So there you go, Stacey. If you're stuck for suggestions.
Anybody got
I think Amy's a nice name.
Oh,
Amy.
I star.
Yeah.
You've got to think
know.
of Stacey, what she might
I
think.
think you only came up with Daisy because I'd said Dolly. You went with Adele.
Well, Dolly's a good one, actually. I think it could be Dolly too. Yeah, but maybe I did copy you, but changed the letters a little bit.
I think you did.
Anyway, Stacey, we are sending you all of our love.
Yeah.
Hope you're all keeping well. We can't wait to get you back and see you properly as well. So, yes, congratulations to you all at Pickle Cottage today. Now, it's the Conservative Party conference at the moment in Manchester, and Prime Minister Boris Johnson has just made his big speech. Beforehand, he was giving lots of interviews to the press. However, one didn't quite go to plan.
You have made that point very clearly, and I'm going to make a new one.
That is going to change.
Prime Minister,
that is going to change, and it's going to be a good thing.
Stop talking. We are going to have questions and answers, not where you merely talk, if you wouldn't mind. Now, the question I now want to ask you is about the cost of living.
A fairly...
He kept talking when he said
Well, he did. It was a fairly feisty exchange with Radio 4's Nick Robinson. Is it rude? He's there to be interviewed, but he is, of course, the Prime Minister. Does he command a certain level of respect, Frankie? Or do you think Nick Robinson has just had enough? He's been interviewing politicians for many, many years and also knows what he's doing.
Yeah, I think everyone's had enough. I think the issue is yes, he should have a level of
Respect.
But I just don't think he warrants it lately. I think people don't seem to respect him at the minute. I think people are frustrated, and I think people have had enough, and I think he talks around the houses. He talks a lot but doesn't really say anything, like most politicians do, really. I think it is rude to interrupt him, but I think when you hear that there, he couldn't get a word in edgeways. Boris wasn't really saying anything. And maybe he feels like his job is to get the answers for the nation that are listening, to get them the answers they want, and that was the only way that he could get them.
Yeah.
I think so too. I think Nick Robinson actually said what most people would be thinking at the time, because it's like, look, just answer a question. I know it's novel, and I know it's not often done by politicians because you know what they do. They go around the houses, they skirt, they bluster, especially Boris, it has to be said. You know, it's just words and it doesn't mean anything. And I think people have had enough. And the good thing about what Nick Robinson has done is he's kind of reflected how a lot of people feel, because for too long, journalists have been far too respectful, I think, of politicians when they don't really deserve it. They've let them get away with murder, and actually, I think the journalists are now thinking, hang on, people are getting sick of this, like Frankie just said. You know, we are all bored of it. So they are changing their tune as well, and I think that's a really good thing, and I hope they keep it up. I was cheering when I heard that.
I agree with both the ladies. I think, you know, politicians do a lot to evade the actual question. And I sometimes think that they should be on that programme Hunted, because, you know, that is all about evading being caught and the capture. But there's, you know, for me, I think it is disrespectful to tell somebody to shut up or to shush. I think there's...
Well, I thought stop talking was quite polite, actually.
It was a politer way of saying it, but you're still trying to say the same thing, and you're still trying to get a hand over somebody else. And I think a lot of people assume that I'm somebody who loses it more, but that's just because I'm passionate about something. I mean, yes, obviously, Boris, he does a lot of that. And so I think if he was a bit more succinct with what he was saying, then people would actually sit up and listen to him more.
Yeah, I think a lot of politicians are sort of professional wafflers, though. They need to fill the time, potentially, so that they don't get to the actual crux of a question. But John Humphreys, who, of course, was part of the Today programme for over 30 years, he did an article today that said, I mean, Boris Johnson, for a start, hadn't been on the show for over 2 years, had chosen to decline interviews to come onto the programme. So as he wrote today, he said, now, finally, the Prime Minister was sitting opposite Nick Robinson, and then he gets him to not talk. And they spent 2 years to try and get him on the show in the first place. So maybe... I mean, it is the Prime Minister. Should we still be in some way respectful of just people that are in a position of power?
No, we pay their wages. We pay their wages and we vote for them to do things for us and make things good for us. And I can't see anything that they're doing at the moment that is doing me any good, or anybody, in fact. And they are getting away with it. And the way that Boris... And all of them, actually, it's all of them. And John Humphreys has got a good point there, because the Prime Minister avoided going on the show with John Humphreys because he knew he wouldn't get away with it. John Humphreys would have pulled him up, but maybe in a much more polite fashion. But I think stop talking is a polite way to say shut up. I would never tell anybody shut up.
Well, I was just going to say, would you tell them to stop talking?
Yeah, I would, and I often want to do that.
So it's just a polite way of saying shut up.
It is. I suppose it is really. Stop talking for 1 second. Look, go on, say it. Say it to me. I know loads of people want to say it to me all the time. Thanks, Nick. And I do want to say it to people all the time. I would never tell anyone to shut up, but I might tell someone to put a sock in it. That's what I would tell them.
Okay.
Put a sock in it. Let me get a word in edgeways.
That doesn't offend as much as shut up, I don't think.
What, put a sock in it?
It doesn't, it's not...
Depends whose sock it is.
But shut up is it's a very strong, quite forceful terminology. And again, depending on the tone, you can have a jokey shut up. But when someone tells you to shut up and meaning it, that's quite harsh.
It is quite hard.
I tell people to shut up when they give me compliments. I hate compliments, so I just go, shut up.
I think that's a bit different, though. Like, sometimes I have, like, you know, when the boys are going on and on and on and on, like, sometimes I will hear Wayne or I go, oh, just shut up for a minute. And then I literally... Oh, it hurts me that I've said it. I hate it. And sometimes I've heard the boys saying it to each other and I have to pull them up on it and be like, boys, don't say that. And it's funny because until I had kids, I don't think I realised quite how offensive and harsh it sounds. And I really try not to say it. Like, that's literally, like, when I'm at the end of my tether. But if I hear them saying it, it really upsets me that, like, they've learnt that.
Yeah.
So I think, yeah, it is. It just sounds harsh, I think.
What?
Shh. All right.
Stop talking.
Stop talking.
See, anytime anyone tells me to stop talking, no matter what,
raise their voice.
upset me. All right. imagine if you were like in an argument or something.
Oh, yes. I think that's more annoying than shut up.
Yeah.
Oh, dear. Anyway, loads more still to come today with news that Kylie's boyfriend, Paul Solomons, won't be moving to Australia with her. We're asking, does every relationship need space to survive? And we've got our reaction to Adele's big comeback. Coming up, Dancing on Ice's latest celebrity signing, Brendan Cole, tells us which ex-skating star he'll be calling for advice. And in just a minute, Adele is back and singing about her breakup. We'll be talking about the relationships that have shaped us. And of course, earlier we were talking about Stacy, sending all of our congratulations. Of course, she's had her little girl. She's just sent us a message, folks, and a gorgeous little picture of the currently unnamed little baby girl. We will find out undoubtedly very soon what they have decided to call the little thing. Look how lovely they all are there. Stacy says, girls, we love you, missing you all so much, but loving these cuddles so much too. She's already a strong-minded, willful woman, just like her loose aunties. She can't wait to cuddle you all. So, yes, a very happy household there, Stacy.
Makes me so pretty.
It's so cute. Oh, really? Does it?
Oh. It's not going to happen, guys. It's not going to happen.
Yep. These seats do something to you.
Don't tell that to Wayne. He'll have me out of here. Quick time.
That's what Christine said.
Absolutely. 2 later. Now, you'll all be pleased to know that scientists have finally solved one of the biggest mysteries in nature. I stayed up at night worrying about this many's a time. Why women feel colder than men. Researchers believe that women have evolved to feel chilly because it keeps the sexes separate and stops couples clashing. It's an actual thing. Officially, women are colder. Carol, do you agree?
Well, I'm
disagree,
sitting next to Brenda, and that's which is the only thing keeping me warm at the moment. She's so hot. She's always hot, so I don't know if that's right. She's hot, you're hot, we're both cold. That's 50-50. So I am always cold, and I hate being cold when I'm not supposed to be cold. I don't mind being cold, like if I go skiing or if I go to the North Pole or something like that, which I have
Often.
done. I have done. I've been to see Santa a couple of times, and I don't mind that. I don't mind that because I'm prepared for it, and I've got, like, you know, proper cold clothes on. But when I'm expected to sit in this studio with a T-shirt on and it's -10,
Freezing.
I can't cope.
You look hot. You look hot today. Look at that.
Because I've got like a sun-coloured suit on, but I've got a thermal vest on underneath.
God.
So
I always
that's
feel like
thermal.
I'm going to lose a few toes when I'm here.
Yeah.
So you're cold now. Are you both cold now? You say, I'm not at all. I'm actually
not.
roasting
I'm
now.
far from cold.
She's
I've
got her
always
fans on.
I got
Show
a
us your
few. I've
fans,
got quite a few
Brenda.
battery,
Look at her with all her fans.
battery power fans, and then. So you got this one, it does everything. That one's on one speed. This one goes around my neck at next speed.
That's
and
my
failing
favourite
that, if the
one.
batteries fail, I've always got my hand in it.
I think it's bring your fan to work day.
Yeah.
Hot.
What's it like
Literally.
at home, though, Frankie? Would you always be cold?
Yeah, I'm always colder than Wayne. So I've always got, like, fluffy socks on, a jumper, maybe a blanket or something, and I'll be saying, what temperature's the room? Turn the heating up. And Wayne's always like, it's not even cold. But then when we go to bed, he particularly likes to have the room really cold, which I do like, you know, when you get under the covers and it's nice and cosy or whatever. Don't like to be hot in bed. But he has it so cold to the point that, like, if you get up in the night for a wee, you're literally running as fast as you can to get there and back without
And your eyelashes
freezing
are
your bum off.
freezing.
Yeah.
And you're breathing out eyes.
But I have to say, I've never wondered if that's like a man-woman thing. Like, I've never thought, oh, are women colder than men?
Well,
I
you
never
know,
really thought about it.
Scientists have done the work for you, Frankie.
Oh, thank goodness.
Thank goodness, yeah. I mean, a lot of it was based on migratory birds and female bats, this study, so I'm not quite sure how it's linked to women. But
What are we talking about
I
this
don't know.
then?
It must be some DNA kind of thing, but
We're all
anyway.
the same.
There you go. That is the sound of the new wheels. You could be winning in our competition. Here's Jeffrey is here.
Autumn is here, and I've hit the road on a mini Cotswolds road trip. Here I am in the gorgeous Bourton-on-the-Water, the so-called Venice of the Cotswolds, and you have the opportunity to win 2 spectacular prizes. And no mini road trip is complete without a mini. Yes, that's right. You could get your hands on a brand new Mini Countryman worth over a whopping £30,000. Not only that, there's also £50,000 in tax-free cash up for grabs. And every penny will be yours to spend on whatever you choose. There's no need to pinch yourself because you're really not dreaming. Before the season's done, you could be cruising around in a brand new Mini with £50,000 in tax-free cash in the bank. So what are you waiting for? Get entering now. For your chance to win, text WIN to 86060. Text costs £2 plus 1 standard network rate message. Go to the website. Entries cost £2. Call 09068 786060. Calls cost £2 plus your network access charge. Or post your name and phone number to DY40 PO Box 7558 Derby DE10NQ. Entrance must be 18 or over. Lines closed on Friday 5th of November at 3 p.m. Good luck.
Thank you, Jeff. Now the world is in a bit of a frenzy after Adele released a snippet of her new song, Easy on Me. It comes after loads of projections of the number 30 were showing up all over the world, prompting fans to believe that Adele was releasing her new album. They, of course, were correct. It's exciting times if you're an Adele fan. Are you an Adele fan, Carol?
Look, I'm not saying I don't love Adele, because I do. I mean, I do, but the thing is, when like your intro there said the world is in a frenzy or something, like, well, no, you don't speak for me, because I didn't know there were 30s all over the place. I've never seen that clip, and I'm not particularly excited about Adele's new album.
I'm feeling the chill here, I'm feeling the chill.
I will listen to it, but when people tell me I am excited about something, I'm instantly not. I mean,
and welcome our guest Adele.
Oh, I wish.
Adele, I'm so excited to talk to you.
Oh, I'm sorry. It's not about Adele. It's about the hype. When people force you to get excited about things that you're not excited about.
I agree. Like,
you know,
if everyone's telling me to watch a TV show or something, I'm always like, I don't know, it's almost like I just want to rebel against it, and I'm like, no. And then I'll always give in, but just a month later than everyone else.
Yeah. It's like being told all the time.
I think she's such a private performer, though, isn't she? And she does keep herself to herself as best she possibly can. So if you are an Adele fan, this is actually really exciting news, because she takes these massive breaks from it and then comes back with all of this new music. She's the most incredible voice.
Oh, you must what she's singing about this time.
Oh, my gosh, Carol, you know, that sounds a bit... I mean, I think it's lovely. She's been through so much since her last album, so I'm looking forward to hearing what her story and her journey has been. She's been creative and put the pen to paper.
Yeah, God forbid she might have a happy ending to a relationship.
Well, you've not heard the album yet.
Well, you know what it's about. You know what it's about.
There's speculation that this new album is about the breakup, or some of it is about the breakup of her husband, Simon Konecki, there, which ended in...
No, it's good, because it does make good songs. She's good. I do love her, honestly.
But
don't get me wrong.
Some of the greatest songs ever are written about heartache.
Absolutely, yeah.
That's content, isn't it?
Maybe that's how she,
It is, though. I mean, that's
how she, like, goes through the, you know, her feelings. She writes about them, and I don't know.
Well, I think some people, especially songwriters, they can find closure from a certain relationship, because all relationships, you know, they mould us in one way or another, whether that's good or bad.
Yeah.
And I think it's nice, myself as a songwriter, I like to put that out there. And, you know, it's not always nice when people come and say, you wrote that about me. Actually, no, I didn't, sorry. But, you know, it's nice to be able to get that output, have that output to just express yourself. It's your freedom of speech. Do what you want. And I'm looking forward to her album.
Well, so am I, Brenda.
Don't sound like it.
No, I really am. I honestly am.
But even relationship-wise, Carol, there must have been relationships, whether it's with a partner or friends or work colleagues, that have an impact on you. Like, they do in some way colour the type of person that you are?
I think so. Everyone you meet has some kind of, you know, effect on you, don't they? I mean, if you're close, I suppose. But I think with relationships, no, I would never dwell on it in the way some people do it. And you know, I have to say, people like to wallow, don't they, when they break up with somebody? But me, I've just never been like that. And it's not. I'm not saying it's bad if you are like that. I'm just not. I just think if I split up with someone and I'm not with them anymore, that's it. It was never meant to be, and I'll be over it. And I won't sit there going, oh, what happened? What did we do wrong? Blah, blah, blah. Just think, well, you know, get on to the next one.
But do you not think sometimes
I'm like the opposite.
Sorry.
That's
If you've done something wrong, if you split up... No. I took that back. I totally took that back.
What?
If the relationship breaks up and you don't actually know why, do you not think that you'll be sitting there thinking, well, what? And you wouldn't be questioning it?
No, Brenda, people can't handle the truth. Like, if someone actually told you why they split up with you, you wouldn't you wouldn't believe it. You'd question it. You'd go, well, actually, it wasn't my fault. And it might be a good thing. Sometimes people should be more honest. They should tell you
I'd have saved
why they're not with
thousands
you.
on therapy if I was more like them. Thousands.
Would you be the absolute opposite then, Frankie?
Just the total opposite. Yeah, like I could still look back and think of all the things that I thought I'd done wrong in the relationship and why it went wrong. And like, this is even like when I was young. Like, I don't know, I just think I'm one of those people, and I reckon a lot of people are, where they would blame themselves for situations.
Why?
That's just
can't
the way
get my
I
head around
am.
that.
I know, I'd love to be like you.
But why, if that person that you split up with that you were trying to blame yourself for, if they'd said to you, well, I don't want to go out with you anymore because you stink, would you believe it? And would you feel better? You'd go, oh, well, I stink, I'm moving on.
No, I'd be devastated. I'd be like, how did I not know?
Go and have a shower.
I don't know, yeah, I just think...
you instantly take on the blame almost, rather than...
Yeah, I think I'm like that with most things, you know.
Yeah, that's a personality thing, though. Whereas I think a lot of us, we need to be more Carol, don't we? Where you need to be able to shrug things off.
I would just think your loss. You know, you're not with me anymore.
Well, I love
that's
that.
Your loss.
How lovely to be like Carol
But
and
that
just think
is
your loss.
That's defining. You know, your loss, I'm going to be even stronger now. And, you know, so it's defined you in that way.
Yeah, I mean, but, you know, it's not how I think. I do actually think, well, you know, all right, I'm better than you, so you can go away. I was going to say sod off then, but I won't.
Said it anyway.
But, yeah, no, I do think you should be more like that. I would never blame myself for the breakdown of a relationship, unless it actually was
your fault. Yeah, okay.
Unless I was unfaithful, but I would never be unfaithful. I've never been unfaithful to anyone. I wouldn't do it. And if someone was, I wouldn't try and say, oh, I wonder why he was unfaithful. What did I do? I mean, that's just insanity.
Oh,
she's not got a strong opinion on it.
No, she's not at all. And I have missed your views, Carol. I haven't been on with you for ages. And it's lovely to be back with you. And Adele, I am excited if you are watching, so there you go. Now, brace yourselves.
Oh, my God.
We're talking to the bad boy of ballroom. Brendan Cole reveals all as he prepares to take to the ice. Again, welcome back to your midweek Loose Women. Alongside me, Christine Lampard, it's Frankie Bridge, Brent Edwards and Carol McGiffin. Coming up, breaking Kylie news this lunchtime as it's revealed she'll be moving back to Australia without boyfriend Paul. We have got our stories of long-distance love and can it ever go right? Now we're talking dancing on ice and the latest famous face to sign up. He was the bad boy of Strictly, but he's now swapping the ballroom for the ice rink. Brace yourselves, it's Brendan Cole. Hello, Brendan.
Hello, Brenda.
Brendan, welcome. Good to see you. So you're swapping a dance floor for a slippery, dangerous version of a dance floor. How do you feel about that?
I am so excited. It's been a while coming now. I've been going to do the show for quite some time, and I want to get started. I'm so excited to be on the show. Wanted it for a long time.
Can you do it though, Brendan? Can you actually skate?
No.
Have you had a go yet?
No, I've had one go, and You know, when I'm a fairly confident person. I like to think I'm going to be good at whatever I try and put my hand to or my feet to. And I was thinking, okay, I'm going to be fine. I'm going to get out there. I was terrible. I was a bit wobbly, as expected. You'd expect to be a bit wobbly on ice, but I was hoping I was going to be better than I was. But I've got time to learn. I'm going to embrace the whole experience, and I'm very excited to get started.
You've got an advantage, though, haven't you? Because you can dance, and it is dancing on ice, so you have got kind of an advantage. And I seem to remember you had a bit of a go at James Jordan, didn't you, when he did
Love
it?
having it.
Yeah, and you said you said he should be top of the leaderboard every week. So
Yeah.
Oh,
we've
no
got high
pressure then.
expectations from you, Brendan.
Very careful what you say. Yes, I can dance, and it is a massive advantage. I hopefully pick up choreography quite easily. There will be certain things I don't have to think about working on during the week because hopefully they'll be naturally there. But I like to think, as I did with Strictly the whole time I was on that show, you start in a certain place, and it's not where you finish. It's kind of where you start and your progression through that period. I want to be as good as I possibly can be. I want my partners to be really proud of me. I want her to soak up the energy and soak up the information that she's got for me. It's a very exciting thing to try.
Brendan, oh, sorry.
Oh, no, I just suddenly thought, do you think you're going to find it hard being taught where you're usually the teacher?
Potentially. I mean, I'll have my own feelings as to what I want to do, but ultimately I've got to put my trust in my partner. As you know, Frankie, it's something you do as a partnership. It's not a solo effort. So I'm going to rely on my partner's expertise and her guidance, and hopefully listen to everything she's got to say. Never argue with her. Never tell her she's wrong.
Whatever.
In life, generally, with anything, never tell a woman she's wrong, and just really embrace dancing on ice. Listen, to be off the stage for such a long time now. I think March last year I finished my theatre production, and all the lockdowns happened. Theatres haven't been open. To be back on a big stage, and this is a very big, very cold stage. I cannot tell you how excited I am. It means a lot to us in the entertainment industry to have these opportunities, and I'm gonna take it with both skates.
Brendan, speaking about embracing partners, so if out of your history of Strictly, who was your easiest to train and who was the most difficult off the bat?
Easiest to train, I would say, is Kelly Brook or Sophie Ellis-Bextor. I'd say most difficult, unquestionably, Lulu.
Oh, really? Talking about Sophie, I read the article that she wrote about being on Strictly. How did you find it, like reading her saying that Strictly is like a cult and it was really hard for her marriage?
It was an interesting read. My heart broke actually reading it because she never really let on to anything that was going on behind closed doors, even though I had a great relationship with a very close relationship with her and Richard. And as she said in the article, how, you know, the first day we met, I went straight over to Richard, shook his hand, and I told her that she's got to involve her family. It's the most important thing when you do a big show like this. You've got to have your family on board so that they can go through the journey, if you like, with you. If you don't, they feel isolated and they feel, the family member feel like they're not a part of something really special that you're going through. So I'm happy to say that my wife is fully on board. My children, I'm so excited. My children are going to see me do this. My daughter's 8, so she'll really appreciate it. To read Sophie's thing, it was heartbreaking, but at the same time, I thought she was really brave to do it, and I thought Richard was very, very brave to speak out as well. And I'm just glad that we had a fantastic relationship on the show, that she was able to say that and highlight it for people that don't really understand what goes on behind the scenes on these big shows. It's life-changing. It's exceptionally time-consuming, and you are away from your family a great deal. I left my family a few days ago to come over and do this. I live in Mallorca at the moment, so it's a really hard thing to do. And if your family are not on board, you're going to struggle. So I'm just very proud of Sophie for having the bravery to speak out like she did, and to Richard as well.
Yeah, it can be absolutely all-consuming, that's for sure, Brendan, we know that. But we're talking just about you being taught again, but you're also now going to be judged again. And there are lots of whispers in the papers today about Arlene Phillips, who, of course, was a judge on Strictly for so many years. Having left that for some time, there are whispers today that she may be a judge on Dancing on Ice, alongside guest appearances on Strictly. What would it be like coming face-to-face with Arlene again on the ice?
I love Eileen. Eileen's she's a gem of a person. We always got on very, very well on the show. I mean, I got on well with all the judges off stage, not necessarily on stage. And I think that is even Craig, I love Craig. I love Craig. Craig and I get on very well. I went to his house about maybe a year and a half ago for lunch. We've always got on well. He likes to push the fact that we don't like each other. I'm not going to say that because I love him. I think he's a great judge. He's a lovely person on and off not on the screen, but off the screen. He's a lovely person. And yeah, it's one of those things. I think professionally we all respect each other. That's very important. And I'll be respecting the Dancing on Ice judges more than you know, because I'm coming in from a novice. I'm not coming in from a position of authority like I was on Strictly. So yeah, if Eileen is on the panel, which I certainly haven't heard that from the Dancing on Ice team. If she is, it'll be a great addition. If not, well, I'm sure she's very, very busy doing her stuff. She's an incredible.
So Brendan, you're going to accept any constructive criticism that comes your way, and you're not going to argue. We're not going to see
with
that.
A smile on my face, Brenda. It's one of those things. You've got to understand your position in the situation. And on Strictly, I was a professional dancer. I'd done my time on the boards. I know what's right and what's wrong. And my job was to stick up for my professional partner. On this show, if they tell me I'm doing it wrong, I will listen, and I'll come back next week and I'll have it sorted and better, and hopefully better than they expected. That's my aim on this game.
Fantastic. Well, Brendan, good luck with the training. We are looking forward to Dancing on Ice equals sort of Christmas, winter. I mean, we're at that point already, so it's wonderful to see you, Brendan. Best of luck with everything, and yeah, just be careful out there. It's dangerous.
No. Thank you.
Thanks so much, Brendan. Lots to come with my favourite ladies. Would you tell a crying kid in a restaurant to leave? We have very different opinions about this one. All will be revealed shortly. And with news that Kylie's boyfriend, Paul Solomons, won't be moving to Australia with her, we're asking if any relationship can survive long-distance love. Hello, coming up. How would you react if you were confronted with a crying child in a restaurant? Would you ask them to leave? Find out our very differing opinions shortly. Now, we're all devastated that Kylie is reported to be quitting the UK and moving back to Australia. But there are reports today that she will be moving back to her home country without her boyfriend. So what do we think? I mean, can a relationship survive a long distance, or is it the beginning of the end? Is it inevitable when there's that much of a distance, Brenda? Or would you hold out for love and make it work?
I think it's really sad when relationships are defined by logistics and where you are. and that's coming from somebody I've been on tour since June. I don't finish till April next year. So you could say it's hard for me to have a relationship. I can't even start one, let alone maintain one right now. But I think that it's, if you want this to work, you can make it work. And as long as you establish what the ground rules are from the off and make an effort to see that person, then I think that it can work.
Yes,
I like to believe in that.
Australia is like 24 hours on a plane away, if you can get on one these days.
Yeah,
I mean, it's not like you can make an effort and time to see
There's
them.
such a thing as computer love, Have you not heard that? I don't mean like the physical. I mean, there's whatever.
Well, I'm just saying, there's communication.
Yeah, everybody's been getting their relationships going via Zoom and all these different computer
They shouldn't. It's not right.
It's not right, but it'll make the getting
really
together.
strong
Why not? It wouldn't work for you then,
Imagine
Carol.
when you haven't seen somebody. I think I'm just defined. I think my whole life is defining me by, okay, I might not see you. I quite like that fact of, you might see that person 3 times a week. I don't necessarily want to see somebody.
So you need someone that can accommodate that, though,
Well,
because if it was someone that wanted to see you every single day,
Nobody
because
wants
they didn't,
to see me every single day. They don't want to. They're lying. They don't want to see me every single. I don't want to see you every single day.
Somebody out there.
You might.
No, but I think it's just nice because you have your space, I have my space.
Yeah.
Then we get together, have an amazing, wonderful time, and then you miss that person even more. It's the part that
It depends, though, doesn't it? Not everybody's absence makes the heart grow fonder. Some people might be the opposite. But, you know, when you think if you're moving away, you've got to think about whether or not you want to be with that person. When I met Mark 13 years ago, I was about to move to Paris. I had it all set up. I was going to go. I was still going to come back for work, but I had a flat and everything. And I just thought, no, I'm going to give this a go. And I cancelled it all. And I thought, Paris will always be there. He won't. And I need to make the most of this because I thought he'd be off in a couple of weeks. But he wasn't. 13 years later, yeah, exactly.
Again, that was a big decision for love.
Yeah.
Because that could have been a whole new start to life for you in Paris, couldn't
Well, it would have been. I've been planning it
with him.
Yeah, I know. I had to let it go because it wasn't possible for him to move as well. So, you know, and I'm glad I did. I took that chance.
But equally so now, Carol, if he were to say to you, I have to move to New York for a job, would you go with him now then?
Oh, I don't want to go to New York. No.
Well, that was an example, but just an example.
Well,
somewhere that you do maybe would want to go to. Let's use that as a place.
Probably I would.
Yeah, just because distance is difficult.
Exactly,
for you.
and also I think that some women, if they just met someone like I had, they might say to themselves, well, you know, I'm not going to let a bloke stop me from doing what I was planning to do. But I just decided to take the chance, and I did. But yes, of course I would, if it was a place that I wanted to be. I mean, if it was somewhere I definitely didn't want to be, I would have to say to him, no, you're not going.
I think it depends on the person, though, and your needs, doesn't it? I think that I don't think I could do it. I think if Wayne said to me tomorrow, oh, I'm moving to Australia, I'd be like, well, that's not going to work, is it? You know, that's the other side of the world.
Why?
Yeah, why? What did I do? We're back there again. Therapist.
Well, you go with him, right?
Well, I would like to think so, but also I think it's just circumstance, isn't it? Like when I met Wayne, he was, you know, playing football. They move around a lot, and I was still working low, so I couldn't have moved. I remember having that conversation where I was like, I can't physically move to where you are because I'm working. And at that time, we weren't married and we didn't have kids, so I wasn't ready to just give up everything I'd worked for at that time. But then equally, now that we are married and we have kids, I don't think I could live a separate life to him because I've seen it so many times where people do that, and then when their life comes back together again, it almost doesn't work because you've got so used to living your separate. I think it's different if you only see each other a certain amount of days a week and then you have the odd spells where you're apart for 6 weeks or whatever. But I think big chunks apart can often make you grow apart rather than together.
Yes. Very well put, Frank. I agree with everything you said there.
Some days I have good points.
OK, competition time now. Yes. You could be laughing all the way to the bank. Jeff has all the details. He does, he promised. Yeah.
You can win 2 amazing prizes. And right now, I'm going to give you a handful of reasons why you should enter this competition.
Reason 1, the cash is tax-free.
That's right, £50,000 could be yours to spend, but you wouldn't need to upgrade your car because...
Reason 2, there's a car too.
Check out this brand new Mini Countryman, which, alongside the cash, could also be yours. Which brings us nicely to...
Reason 3, I'm Jeff Brazier.
That's not really a good reason, is it? You're trying to put them off, are you?
Reason 4, it might be your lucky day.
All of our competitions have one lucky winner, and our next big winner could be you. So I guess the question you've got to ask yourself is, do you feel lucky, punk? Did you write that for me? I felt a bit silly, a bit awkward saying that, in fact. Why can't we just tell them, here's the details, and run the entry slate? For your chance to win, text WIN to 86060. Text costs £2 plus 1 standard network rate message. Go to the website, entries cost £2. Call 09068 786060. Calls cost £2 plus your network access charge. Or post your name and phone number to DY40 PO Box 7558 Derby DE10NQ. Entrance must be 18 or over. Lines close on Friday 5th of November at 3 p.m. Good luck.
Thank you. Now, you're in a posh restaurant, you've just been served your main course, and you hear this from the table next to you. Oh. OK, what do? One woman has posted on social media that she got up and asked the mother of the crying child to leave the restaurant and not return until the child was under control, which didn't end well. The family with the child did leave after a bit of a heated debate, shall we put it that way. What would you have done in that situation, Carol? Have you ever been in that, where you're in maybe a relatively posh restaurant, you're paying a few quid for your food, and a little one starts screaming beside you?
I wouldn't say anything. I definitely wouldn't. But I must admit, I do sort of hunt down restaurants that publicly say they don't allow children in. I do. I'm sorry about that. And if they had flights where kids weren't allowed, I'd get on them too.
I think that's fair enough. At least you admit that. Do you know what I mean?
Well, yeah, because there's too many...
I just love the idea of you hunting them down.
Excuse me, do you take seats with children? OK, fine.
Well, yeah, I think there are a lot of parents who think their children do have the right to disturb a lot of people, and they don't make any effort to try and control them or stop them if they're running around and, you know, pulling your tablecloth and all of that.
Why does it, like, under control their children? That's what annoys me.
But
Well, take charge then. It's the same thing.
I just say, like, I don't know. I just think if that woman had come up to me and said, like, oh, do you think you could... I don't know. I just don't like the way, can you get your child under control?
Yeah. And there can be lots of reasons why the child is crying. There could be a lot of issues that you're not aware of at all.
Exactly.
So for someone really to have the audacity to face someone and say...
Crying is different. I mean, I'm talking about kids running around, pulling your tablecloth and you know, kicking your chair and throwing balls everywhere. That's what I don't like.
Yeah.
But the crying baby, it's not my favourite noise, I must admit, but... You know, parents, sometimes they can't help it. Here we are, thanks.
But I think that's fair enough. Like, I still, as a parent, I think it's great that hotels have adult-only swimming pools and stuff like that. You know, when I'm not with my kids, I'd love to be by a pool that doesn't have kids, or I'd love to go to places that... I fully understand that, and I you know, I just think sometimes, like, don't think for a second that that mother or that parent isn't sitting there thinking, oh, my God, please stop crying or please stop doing that. And I think if someone, you can tell they are making the effort to stop their child from doing that, then what can you really say? If they're just sitting there on their phone ignoring them and you're, like, trying to have a nice meal or whatever, then I completely understand. But the word control, like, I had someone on a flight come up to me and say, you need to control your naughty child. I think it's quite triggering for me. And I just lost it with her. Maybe this is the time where I told someone to shut up, but I couldn't. I just argued with this woman. I think at one point I told her that she should go and get her own private jet if she can't handle being with the general public. But it made me so angry.
But I was kind of raised with the parables of children must be seen and not heard. And so, you know, my aunts and uncles would always say, you better stop your crying or else I'll give you something for cry for. So, you know, you immediately go... But I don't... The amount of children that are in my family, I don't recall seeing any of them where they're wailing or misbehave or anything like that. It was just silence and reverence and just keep yourself still.
I do think some parents have it very tough, though. I think we need to go a bit easy because you never know what's going on within the family, and it can be very difficult.
Yes.
Anyway, there we go. End of the show. Thank you for your company. Tomorrow, we're joined by EastEnders star Louisa Lytton and James Corden's sisters, Ruth and Ange, join us as well. Have a great day. Thanks for your company. Bye-bye.